So, we join back in with our adventurers. After last week, they had done an absolutely amazing performance during the first and second legs of the Doom Hacker, managing to eliminate pretty much every other member of the competition. I think the only vehicle still running is the Azure Flyers vehicle, which is currently still stuck in web, or was last we looked. And our group had made a near 600-foot lead on any other member of the competition. As they were making their way towards the exit of this area and time to move onto the invisible leap of faith, gunfire and explosions. And as they looked back down into the crevasse, the signs of fighting, something going on, and we ended as a large fireball erupted on one of the vehicles that had crashed over to the side, causing a massive explosion to rock the cabin. So I'll go to us now as basically, Dante, do you even stop?
No.
Because you were making the turn, so you had slowed, and I in my head, you had put your elk near a turn so that it would be when the vehicle slowed that Ichi could quickly jump out.
I thought the elk was right at the top. I thought the elk was like at the top of the.
It's at the
it's
turning,
at the bend.
The bend that leads onto the jump. So basically, I can
you
get
guys
in front and
need
lead.
to jump. So you guys need, because there is a 20-foot gap of no road before the invisible road starts.
Mm-hmm.
Oh right, okay, I didn't know that.
So basically,
you
guys will go
need
first,
speed.
jump, move forwards, and then be like do that.
Yeah, so you guys need speed. So you would either have to pull up and him get off and then run, or so what I'm gonna say is, so Ichi, because I think originally probably the plan was to sort of pull up to the turn, Ichi jump off and run forwards.
Mm-hmm.
So this is as the vehicle is turning, Ichi, you are already mounting your elk as this explosion and such goes off.
Was that us?
What the hell was that?
And at this point, like, vehicles still moving. Like, Dante hasn't slowed at all, have they?
I mean, because no, Dante doesn't really care. So
the vehicle starts to.
But you said as well as the explosion, we could hear people shooting stuff.
There was gun, and there still is. There is, and actually, can you give me perceptions?
12.
Oh, fuck's sake.
20.
Yes, Volu.
19.
29.
Okay, so obviously for Dante and Dante, you've already said you're not really paying attention as on the road.
I'm focusing
you would
on
be
the mount.
You would sort of be looking that way as you're turning, but you're not like. We're still talking. This is 400 or 500 feet away. No, probably more like 3. Probably 350, something like that.
The map?
We're on the map.
Well,
yeah, we are
because you guys are on the next section, but it is on the crevasse area that is happening now. However, as much as this is 600 feet, it's 600 feet winding straight upwards, so it doesn't quite translate to 600 feet, if that makes sense, in terms of distance away of where this is happening.
I thought we worked out that it was about 400 from top to bottom.
Didn't we say it was like so each thing was like 55?
Yeah, but obviously that's going left to right.
Yeah.
So
was it?
This is zigzagging
that way. Yes. Sorry, my bad.
So this is zigzagging upwards and up and down. So even though you are traveling 600 feet of track, it's upwards, right? So it's slightly different. But maybe let's say 400 for ease. But about 400 away, there is still shooting and stuff going off. Now, Lenny and Vo, you look down there and you can see the small figures of people moving around. There's nothing crazy big or anything that looks. You see 2 or 3 figures that are like running. And then Volu and Eleni, you notice that. So if I put you back on, we don't need map for audience, but just for you guys. The sandstorm that crashed up at the top where you saw the fireball,
Mm-hmm.
The chassis of that vehicle flips a good, like, it looks like the creature that moved it only looks to be a medium creature, right? Like, so you sort of, for those that are like, so for Dante, you're seeing all the figures, but they're all medium sized, if that makes sense. So for you, there's no way to differentiate between what is just a rider and what they're fighting. For Vola and Eleni, one of these medium creatures flips the chassis of that car 15 foot in the air. It's crashing. As another
creature.
As another sinks into the ground, and there's almost the two figures that were running. One behind it like sinks in and underneath, bursting up, and you see if one of the figures as again gunfire going
humanoid,
off.
Liam?
You cannot tell at this distance. They are humanoid sized.
But we can't tell even just from are they running? Are they gliding? Are they?
They seem to be moving arms and legs, maybe, but it's still hard to tell at this distance. But those two things, obviously, distinctively not humanoid in their in what they're doing. But again, we're talking seconds as Dante starts to put his foot down, and because it would. It only really takes you one round to an out.
I'm going to be like, what the fuck, guys? They're under attack.
Dante, stop for a second. We've got the lead. We don't need to rush. Don't you roll your eyes at me?
Okay, so I'm going to say that you because of the initial burst, you're going to go like 20 foot up that last 50 foot ramp, if that makes sense. You've still got your 30 foot run up, but you sort of pull to a stop. Again, you can see another light of spell fire off from what you know around the webbed car to be Tabitha.
Yeah.
It looks so the fireball came from further back because if you remember, she was like knocked off. And this bit of light came from right next to their vehicle as you think she's trying to get to the vehicle while firing off spells.
Look, guys, it's one thing beating these in a race, but I mean, do you think
Another
that's
thing letting them die?
Do you think that's Madame Oracle? Do you think?
I don't know.
I'd say as you're looking, you actually see there's flashes of gunfire from further up, where you actually that's where Goro and his crew were.
Yeah.
And I would say everyone sort of looking at this can give me an intelligence just to see what you're able to put together from this vantage point in the few seconds.
Can I ask, say, I've got two things to ask here. One, based on my perception of 12 earlier, would you allow me to roll? And two, if it's anything, in my area of expertise.
I'm going to say that it's not in your area of expertise, but I am going to let you roll.
So that's a 20 for me.
Sorry, what we're rolling?
Intelligence.
Intelligence. Just a straight intelligence.
21.
12.
Okay, so what was Volu's, sorry?
My thing was playing up, so what was my intelligence? 19.
Okay, so Ichi, as you're looking, this just looks like chaos. There's different dots moving around, bit flashes and firing, bit different spells going off. For everyone else, you're almost seeing the groups. There is almost like a group of the riders that were left that are starting to huddle together around the Azure Flyer. There is another group where the gunfire is coming from that they seem to be holding to almost like a defensive line at the stalactites. No, mites from the ground.
Mites from the ground.
Yeah.
The mighty grow up.
Yeah. And then there's three figures that, as you watch and over the next few seconds, they mainly seem to be swarming the flipped vehicle. However, one of them is currently battling with it looks like the riders mainly that it's currently fighting with. Again, I'm going to say another sort of round passes. You would see a quick flash of flame, and for a moment, the whole bit of webbing just lights up. But then at the same time, there's almost a quick chilling blast that seems to wipe out the flames as their vehicle was definitely like turned off because they'd given up and were getting ready to walk back. But you can see that there's definitely seems to be moves made to be getting. You think Tabitha and crew are maybe trying to get out of, but as theirs is the only functioning vehicle, and you can see a few of the other riders moving that direction. But again, as you're watching, you see another. One of these medium creatures grabs hold of the rider that was on the trident and just launches them as they go 15 foot and across the ground.
If we're acting, we need to act now. I can take the vehicle and finish the race. I'm the one who can see the track. I can also circle back around and bring reinforcements from the other end.
We need to get help in here quickly. Liam, the silver raven that I've got, for some reason, I don't have any notes about how it works. So you know the little silver raven thing that I can use to send a message?
They've got scry of the
I
race.
believe it. They do have. You know that they don't have scry on the race because you can't scry a moving thing. If you remember, they had familiars.
That was it.
Yeah.
There were familiars following on. You would know that generally, though. So again, this is where a little bit of what Madam Oracle wanted you to do has played against you here. A lot of the people went down in the first leg of the race. A lot of the clerics and a lot of the medical people will be currently attending, which is that kind of what Madam Oracle wanted for longer time for them to. They are going to turn up, but you don't know exactly when.
Well, we saw the person our target get kind of shoved into.
They were pulled to the stalagmites, and that's where the flashes of gun are coming from. That is coming from.
Feels like that's them defending themselves rather than them causing the explosions. Yes, explosion happened and then gunfire started.
Well, so the explosion was Tabitha. Tabitha fired the fireball, but purposefully at the vehicle that was in that corner. But gunfire started, and then Tabitha made the thing explode.
Right. Okay. I misunderstood series of events there. Good to know. Okay. Thank you.
Dante's going to just go. He told us there are beasts that live here. They know this is all part of the race.
Yes, but there are people.
Part of the race.
The race is over. We've won.
Yes.
If I cross that finish line, that's fine. But there are people down there who could die. I understand Volo's gone a bit bloodthirsty during this race, but hopefully that's stopped now that we're not moving.
Eleni's going to jump off the car.
Volu will remain to be silent at this point.
Eleni is getting off the car.
What my point is, they said there are monsters that live in these caves. Everybody again signed up for a race which had these things in it.
Death.
There's a difference between monsters and between what could be people sabotaging. And we also saw in that other portal dimension, whatever the hell it was, that they were planning, the fiends are planning to cause chaos here. What if it's them?
And I'm just saying.
Then finish the race, Dante. Finish the race. I'm going to pull the silver raven out. I know I can say hello, Raven, to wake it up.
Yes, so essentially it works like a level 1 animal messenger spell.
Okay.
So it will, I believe, you speak the message to it.
Yeah.
You need to have visited the location you want it to go to, but then the description can be as vague as a guard, but it can be also as specific as a person.
Do I have to know the person personally?
No, this is quite a cool one with Animal Messenger. You have to have been to the place,
right?
But you can literally just be like, find the first guard you see, and say these things to them. Or but you can also.
I can't tell him to go find Sir Volkov.
Let me find. Yeah. Let me find the actual. So it's a spell.
Sorry.
You could send it to the first guard and get him to say alert so Volkov.
Yeah.
So you can.
Animal messenger. I'll type that in.
Obviously, normally
Is Liam frozen?
Raven becomes the tiny beast in range. Obviously,
Oh.
that was that one. Yeah, that was one.
Sorry,
That's
I
okay.
froze for a sec, but
But
I'm
yeah,
back.
so normally you find a tiny beast in range, but the silver raven turns into the tiny beast, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So you don't need to find one. You can then speak. So basically, you specify a location that you must have visited, and
Yeah.
a recipient who matches a general description, such as a man or woman dressed in uniform or town's guard, a red-headed dwarf wearing a pointed hat, and you speak a message of up to 25 words.
Okay, and
The
it can go
target
for
beast
about...
will then travel 50 miles. Obviously, you can't up it to make it go further, but it will go 50 miles.
So I'm going to say to it, fly back towards the crucible, find the first guard, tell them to tell Sir Volkov the riders are being attacked.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
So the first guard they find, tell Sir Volkov to,
and
then return.
Well, it will automatically. So you know it's done. It will return to you.
Cool. Thank you.
If people need to get down quickly, we can use one of the grappling hooks to shoot down, and you can use it like a zip line. It'll only take us 100 feet, but that'll take off a quarter of the journey. You can take my elk. I don't need it if I'm the one driving.
Are you going to be
as
okay
you're talking,
driving,
there's another flash of spell, and one of the vehicles again gets tossed across the side, crashing along the floor through the stalagmites.
I'm going to look at Dante and say, Dante, if you'd rather drive the car and finish the race, then I won't hold that against you.
I'm more saying it's neither here nor there. I don't see the rush when this was all part of we knew the dangers of this race.
I don't think we know that this is part of the race. I don't think
you can
say that for sure.
Like, it's one thing being part of the race when everyone's moving through quickly, but when majority of the group are in there, it feels different.
I understand.
But I agree we should finish the race. We want to win. I'm just not willing to let these people face that on their own.
Okay. Why doesn't Ichi finish the race? Because he can see the track. And I'll take the elk for protection like we've done before.
Mm-hmm.
One thing you will remember: elk will struggle to go down from here quickly. It could come up slowly, but if you remember when you first came here, it's magically made and it doesn't need weight support because it's levitating. Vehicles that have gone up it previously.
I can drive. I don't say, and for speed, we jump the car, we hook down, we get off at the bottom, or I drop you guys off. I park it up somewhere.
We don't know where this track finishes, though. That could be miles away from where the cave is.
No, he means back into the cave, I think.
How would you drop us into the cave if we're on the track?
No, he's saying to go back down the zigzag with the car.
He's saying to take the car back down.
So we can jump. We can shoot the thing if we need.
You haven't used any of your jumps yet.
Then how are you going to navigate the path?
I never said that I would. But it gets us down, and then if you want to drive up, that's up to you. But it gets the group down quicker. The only concern is that this is the third quarter of the race. So that means at best you have half of the length of the full race to get to where you're going and back again. And that took
I kind of like Ichi's grapple idea. You know, I actually think it would get you most of the way to the floor.
That's the
thing.
thing.
Because
we could sit down.
again, if we
If we're going exclusively by Pythagoras theorem
well,
of like
if we're
shortest,
not
if we
even that,
took-
don't
if we
even
took
need to do
the-
that. If we literally just look at this one,
Well, could we
if we
take it
look
off
at-
the car, Liam? Could we take the ballista
Could we
thingy
take
what
the-
if it's off the car?
oh
and
yeah, I mean you
shoot
could, but
Could we
that
take the
way?
ballista off the car and put it onto the elk?
No, there's no mount.
I
You
know
have to
my
hold
elk
on
is
to
made
it.
out of like
Well, we can't,
arid
So-
matter,
we can't
but
attach it to the elk, but Volu could hold on to.
I
we could
mean,
tie
if you
Volu
really
to
wedge
the
it in
elk
between
and,
the
like-
antlers,
So
Yeah.
each of these ramps, so they go in left to right, but each of them is 10 foot up. There is 11 segments, which means there's 110 foot upwards.
Yeah.
So yes,
Right.
you have enough
So,
to.
so essentially, I don't just because of the angle, I don't think you'd reach the bottom,
No.
but in one grapple, I think you could get the majority of the way down.
I think as far as we can get down, the better. I'm not sure about taking the car back down there. It could get destroyed. It could get damaged. And right now,
As you are talking, there is another louder bang, almost like somebody maybe used a bomb or something like that. And you see one of the you sort of look over, and one of the humanoid figures has got the medium creatures has sort of grown. It sort of seems to have grown larger, almost like spreading itself. But whatever this explosion has put a hole in its chest as it just falls to one side. As you see them sort of getting up, another person getting up out of the smoke, as one of the large hands just crushes them to the floor. Again, gunfire and explosions continuing.
guys, what we're doing, we need to decide.
You also, over the run, hear the roar of the Azure Flyer engine kicking back up as they are trying to restart their engine.
I think Ichigo's get help. I think we take the ballista off the car. We swing down as far as we can.
Do we necessarily have to swing? Can it just, like we said, just shoot down and zip line, and then it can unhook, and then it's back in the car?
don't even need to dismount.
There'll be an element of swinging because
There'll be
it
an
only goes
element.
100
Right.
feet. But
Don't mind 120.
But I'm talking about the car
Doesn't
going and finishing the race.
Yeah. He was saying you could either. I think
If
removing
the
it
car
or
stays
not
where it
is-
is, shoot.
Yeah,
we
it's kind of a
ride
moot
Oh,
point
I
because the
see.
time it would take you to dismantle and remove it from the mount might be the same as it just sitting there for the time it takes you guys to slide down it.
Yeah, so might as well
Obviously, I
just
will
shoot.
warn you ahead. It's a
Just
long
shoot
way
it
and
then.
it will be quick, so it will be a check.
yeah, let's get the
But-
car down and then someone else can drive it back up because the time to get out is fine.
No, I'm okay. I still don't think we should take
vehicle
the car
stays
down.
still. No,
Vehicle stays where it
Vehicle's
is.
staying where it is. We're going to
We
zip
shoot
line down
and use
Like,
that
Right,
zip.
sorry, yes, sorry.
Just rather than dismounting the weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so
Right.
Eleni jumping back on to do the ballista shot.
Yeah. And I was using.
Where
a
are you
normal
aiming
longbow.
to? So are you trying to go to so basically if you imagine left
'Cause
and
it's a
right
hill,
of the
isn't it?
crevasse.
Yeah.
But if you imagine the left and right of the crevasse.
I wanna
from where
aim-
you're
I want to aim on
Once-
the
once-
side away
let-
from
let-
where the thing was.
away from where it exploded and the
So yeah. So yeah, from where I was looking, not where
That's left side.
the car was being flipped. I want to go to the left
yeah,
side.
so you aim at the left side of the bottom of the track and give me the roll just to see how close to where you are aiming you get.
Whilst this is happening, can I do something like?
Yeah.
I'll drive. No. But
17.
I'm gonna.
Roll the damage as well.
Okay, sorry.
So 2d10 or 2d8, sorry.
Plus the 3d8.
Plus the 2d8 plus the 3 plus the extra damage. What was the extra?
Yeah, the d8.
Is it another d8 or d6? I thought your fire was d6.
D6.
Fire's
What?
d6. 2d8
Okay.
plus a d6.
Yeah.
I thought we would do it the whole time. We were doing like 3D something.
Crap.
Okay, but it still digs in and you feel it tense. Dante, what are you wanting to do as they prep this? Also, I'll give everybody an action to do in prep as obviously Eleni's jumped up and dug in the grapple.
Whether it's by rope and tying them together or something along those lines, I'm taking both the gunpowder kegs, and then because I want to kind of just have a rope like kind of around my neck with gunpowder.
So I mean, you could get them in your bag easy enough, but rope around your neck. I'd say that you could have one in your bag and one on your belt.
I could carry one, maybe. I've got a good carrying capacity. Smoke bombs as well. I've got.
Well, yeah, easily enough. Volu, anything you're prepping as getting the grapple ready?
No, there's nothing for me to prep really. I just need to swing down with them.
Okay, and Ichi.
You don't want to hold an action or anything, Paul?
Well, swinging down, I assume we're going to get a check to swing down, but
yeah.
Give yourself guidance.
He's concentrating on your enhanced dex still.
Oh yeah. Cheers.
No, I'm not.
He's not. He lost that.
Oh yeah, he did win more.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, so
you could guidance yourself.
I'll give myself guidance then.
Okay, and anything from Ichi?
I'm just prepping to get going.
Okay.
So it kicks back a little bit on the corner.
Yeah, I drove it that one time and I did not have fun.
Yeah. Don't destroy the car.
I'm going to give Ichi a hug before I jump off and just say good luck, and then
Thank you.
Actually, Dante will lean in and just be like,
On a serious note, don't leave me too long.
Don't worry, someone's got to look after you. You certainly can't do that yourself.
Okay, and as each of you, who's going first? Is it Eleni first, then Dante, then Volu? What's the?
Dante's fine to go first, but he's equally fine to go last.
if Dante goes first, should Eleni come at the back?
Yeah, I'll go in the middle.
In the middle.
Okay, so can each of you give me an athletics, please?
Not an acrobatics.
I will say I'll allow either. I'll be nice.
Actually, to be fair, I'm better at athletics, so I'll take that back.
No, you win. Now you must do with athletics.
Oh god.
I mean, it's only a 1 point difference.
No, you're good.
Advantage for Volu.
Guidance for Volu.
Guidance.
I only got 15.
I got a 14.
9.
Okay,
so we end up in a ball on the floor.
Yeah.
Describe to me, each of you, what you're doing as well, because this is a wire, right? So it's not like you can't hold your way down it.
Is it? What's it made of? Is it metal?
Metal.
Cool.
I was thinking of a belt. I was going to maybe grab my belt, wrap it around my wrists, and sort of that way.
I'm just going to go down with my great ass fucking huge sword, and just slide down and just use
shower of sparks.
Yeah.
And so Dante, as you go down, it is fast. Volu coming down afterwards, way faster than you were expecting. What are you using, by the way? What are you going with the belt like Eleni or?
So I would have grabbed my coat, but my cloak to kind of and I'd scrunch it up to kind of wig down, but not realizing that it's going to cause a bit of tension each time it's going to go on the rope. And I ask Eleni for a leg up, and as I do, kind of like vault me up, and I'm like, what? Not realizing it's
and the second your feet are not touching the floor, you're just like going at full speed, like all the way down, no control. Dante, you're sort of finding that you can lean, and if you sort of pull back a bit, you sort of angle your sword a little, it controls the speed a little. And Eleni coming down with a 14. Again, pretty steep. So Dante, you roll out at the bottom, just avoiding any damage. As Volu and Eleni take 5 points each, as nothing other than just rolling out of it as you come out of it quick enough, Volu.
Could I use my inspiration to cast Gust to avoid us doing any damage?
Yeah. Yeah, nice. I'll allow it.
Very nice.
Okay, so as a Volu, as you were sort of like speeding down, I like the idea that you were like managing to slow, almost blowing yourself back to touch Eleni, bringing you both to a slower speed. And I'll say negating that damage as you guys roll out the bottom. Ichi,
Needed.
first of all, give me an athletics to disconnect the winch. Well, the ballista.
Athletics. Oh, I rolled a natural 19, so that's going to be a 25.
Nice.
Easily, and pressing on the button, reaching over, you sort of having to stand and reach as you reel it back in. At this point, I'm going to ask for initiative.
Okay.
And no.
Oh yeah, bear in mind everyone no longer gets any pluses from me for saving throws.
And you don't get my crimson right. Neither do I.
No, because it was on the
Doesn't your
ground.
crimson right stay on the vehicle?
Yeah.
Unless I dispel it, yeah.
H is just with a vehicle that's on fire, like.
So, initiatives, please.
Yeah, that's a 14.
17.
12.
We're close to each other. That's not
And
a
a 7 for Ichi, which isn't the worst thing, seeing as I'm not in the main fight.
Personally, I'd like you to have been first, but
Yeah, I would have preferred to be there, but here we are.
Okay.
Where are we?
Big map. Yeah, where are we?
So, firstly, you're not right on this map yet. You are 30 foot from the right side of this map.
Okay.
As you have rolled out just to the bottom side, so if you imagine the bottom side of this map is the left, I imagined, Eleni, that you were digging into just the start of the stalagmite area rather than going deep into all the rocky area.
Yeah.
So you're gonna, if you imagine the sandy bit, the sandy colored bit is almost just like worn gravel, and the bits that have been worn and eroded, that's the bit you were driving up.
Okay.
The grade, the sort of dark grey stalagmite area, and then the gravelly area is the walls. If you imagine,
And the blue
is the stream that runs through the middle.
I didn't realise there was a
I
stream.
didn't realise there was a stream either.
Okay.
Every time I've talked about the crevasse, I have talked
I
about the stream.
know. It's completely bypassed me when I've been. Okay.
It's because we blew up a lot of cars there.
Mm.
So, top of, let me just sort on my order. Top of the round is Dante.
So how far? Sorry, I'm on from the right hand side. Did you say?
So you are 30 foot, like this way. So if you imagine along this bottom edge of the yellow, but 30 foot off the map.
I seem to move my. Hang on, I'm gonna have to refresh. I can't actually see. So 30 foot from the bottom.
No,
Where the pink arrow is.
I've just had to refresh because my screen.
yeah.
bring
What
it back
pink
in.
arrow, Liam? Sorry, I can't see.
Paul's drawing a pink arrow.
I can't see Paul's.
Oh,
pink arrow.
you haven't shared it with everyone, Paul.
I didn't know if we were using the map or not. But...
Right. Yes.
Oh, there.
So
Cool.
we're
Right,
off,
so
we're
you're
off the
you're
side
30
there.
foot to the right of that point, basically.
Right. Okay.
You can see now that you're down here, there is down at the bottom, still where they were, you've got the driver, Tabitha's driver, that may be a surprise for Dante, and maybe not for the others. Their helmet is off. They don't look anything like Moonshadow Jr. They are dark-skinned, curly, tied up, tight hair, and they are currently frantically, almost standing and stepping on pedals and pulling the key ignition, while also reaching over and like pulling different bits and fiddling with the engine as they're like trying to get this fucking thing to work, and you can see them hitting it and trying to start it. Tabitha is just on the back section of that, firing off different spells. You can see that the creature that dropped, now I've made them slightly larger on here, but that is just so that we can see them as a difference. They are medium-sized. They are the larger of medium-sized. They're sort of 8-9 foot. They, now that you are closer, seem to be entirely made of rock, or like grey brown rock substance, maybe not entirely rock, but definitely a large proportion of them. One of them's lying dead here next to a corpse of, definitely not a racer. You don't recognize them, but you haven't seen them before. Like, they weren't down here before. You can see that the racer of the trident has sort of backed up this way and is standing next to another person you don't recognize. These are people that you imagine work for Goro or a part of that crew. And over this way, you can see that this grey rock creature, the one at the far north side of the map, is currently just stripping bits of the bottom of the vehicle off, and you can see as it pulls a bit of the metal with one hand, it takes it's got like a large slice of the Zikar crystal and just feeds it into a like large open mouth. You can all give me religion. No, it would probably be Arcana, and Dante, you get your advantage on this.
9.
22.
So it's eating the Zikar.
Seems to be eating the Zikar.
Barely had 6.
As you're
Great
getting
rolls.
up and looking, one of these creatures, so the one that's currently over the vehicle, it's really hard to sort of see until it fully stands up, and you can see that the entire top of it is just a large open mouth and teeth, sort of like hiding behind the rock, for your viewing pleasure. And
Ooh, lovely.
Dante,
That looks
you
like
are
me in the morning.
Yeah, Dante, you would recognize a Xorn. Earth elemental type creatures that generally they're pretty neutral and actually don't attack people that often. You with the 21, there are a few things here. So firstly, they're usually very deep. They do their entire want and wish and purpose is to hunt down gems and treasures and shiny things and crystals and valuables.
Magpies.
However, yeah, but they're also like, they have an innate sense. They can literally sense gems. They can pinpoint by scent the location of any precious metal or stone within 60 foot of it. So it's like, and once it finds it, it's like the stories you've heard are like absolute nightmare in a mine. Because especially if it, because it's very neutral, and there are lots of evidence of people talking to them. They talk Terran, Earth Elemental speak. So there is evidence of people talking to them and bargaining with them and giving them gems in order to go away. But also, because of their neutrality, they very much see it as if it's still in the ground, it doesn't belong to you yet. So if they run through a mine, they will go gather all of the ore that has not been mined yet, because that doesn't belong to you. They won't, like, they might bargain for the stuff you have, but no, that stuff's in the ground. But odd to you, a little bit odd there, Dante, in that, like, yes, okay, Zikar, they normally wouldn't risk open attack like this just for the slivers of Zikar that are here. What would you like to do as we are on your initiative?
My mind actually goes back to the wyvern. And then with that, the thought in my head. So they are elemental. I know they say they speak Terran, but which is just common, right?
No, Terran is Earth Elemental.
Oh.
So common is its own thing,
Right.
but so the language of Earth Elementals is Terran.
What about primordial? because that's an elemental thing.
You know that. So if you imagine primordial is Latin and Terran is French,
Right.
there would be some level of understanding potentially. I would sort of give it a roll to see if you could put it across. And it's a weird one as well because they sort of don't offer the side ones to players that often. But I always sort of primordial's the overarching language, and you've got the sub-dialect.
That was why I kind of meant it was like that. But anyways, I will do my full movement of 30 and then add my action to 60 to get me. So it's 30 feet from here, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, wow, that gets me nowhere. So pretty much on that line. Where am I? Oh, look how dunny I am.
Okay, as you're getting a bit closer, you can see that this vehicle here is currently like wrapped half round a stalagmite. It's currently on fire, and bits of occasionally you can see sparks from the bits of gunpowder that must be spilling out.
How loud can you shout? Like, I know it's like distance-wise. Is 180 foot too loud to be able to communicate? Trying to think of a football field.
Well, so I'm pretty sure there's a thing about hearing somebody talk at normal volume, and then we can go off that.
And we're in a cave, right? Would it not echo a little bit?
Yeah. So a football field is roughly, but looks like American football field is about 360 feet long. So this is roughly half of that.
I would say it would be against their perception, I would imagine. Because obviously they're involved, like, you know, is the purpose for to cast a spell to be heard, sort of thing.
No, literally to try to communicate.
I'll allow it. It will be on their perception to see if you are loud enough to distract them from what they are currently doing.
I am going to like my sword's out. Like it's kind of like it's slightly dragging behind me. Smoke is just still like from the Crimson right earlier, and potentially just me in general. I'm heating up a little bit. And I'm just going like, you guys would never, unless you guys speak primordial, you guys wouldn't have heard Dante be able to do this. And he will just literally just shout out to them, "What are you doing? Why are you attacking?" There you go. That would be things. And I'm just going to give that a yell out. And there's very little else that I can do.
Okay. Okay. It doesn't seem to raise its head from currently. So you can see that this one doesn't seem to. The lower one doesn't seem to look over it. This one currently has the driver of the sandstorm, if you remember the water ganassi, currently has them picked up. But it again, it almost looks like the water ganassi is like stabbing it with a knife, but they're almost moving it and shaking them and like trying to go through their stuff almost, while they're getting hit. And the one currently chomping a Zikar, no focus on you right now.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else? Okay.
There's nothing else I can do.
This zone throws the Ward's Ganassi into a set of stalagmites that way, sinks into the earth, and resurfaces in the water as they like come up. The driver again looks over and is like, fuck. It's like they're trying to restart the engine, like, Tabitha, get this fucking thing moving. As you would see that these two I would say only Dante can see this. Looks like they're having an argument.
Which two, Liam?
You muted, sorry, Dante. The two that are here just by the river.
Oh, right.
The one that's got their back to you. You can sort of see that they're almost like they're pointing, and they're like really aggressively pointing over the shoulder, but the other one's just not moving. As we then, you would see. There's some more gunfire from the back.
Cool.
And then Eleni.
Okay. So I'm also 30 feet off.
Yep.
So does 30 feet get me onto the actual map?
Yeah. 30 foot puts you the square on the map.
Like that?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's fine. Okay. I will... Ooh, 195. That is definitely a lot further away than I thought they were. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna try and shoot that one in the river with my longbow, and it'll be at disadvantage because it's only 150 feet, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. So you're going for a real high shot?
Yeah, going for a real high shot just to see if I can get its attention, if it looks like it's heading towards Tabitha and the... So yeah, so first one, as that worked. Oh, look at that. Dirty 20.
The arrows up into the air, almost disappearing. And actually, I imagine second arrow's probably loosing before the first one even hits the ground at this distance, not if we're shooting the second. But it will soar through the air and strike into the creature. Feel free to roll damage.
So yeah, so that's just 9 piercing.
Okay, it seems to hit and it's sort of like it doesn't turn in your direction, right? It's sort of like it doesn't know where it was hit from at that distance, right? It knows it was hit.
Okay.
But it's not like there you are, you know what I mean?
I want to send my swarm after it to do additional damage.
I've got a question. And I'm pretty confident. I'm pretty confident I know the answer to this, but this is going to be me pushing my luck, if you can believe it. So when I used inspiration before, was it literally just anything that fired from the?
Oh yeah, no, all of it's still. So Eleni's Eleni. It was any weapon that was out.
Yeah, so any weapon that was out. Oh, okay, does my sword not count? I'm guessing. Because I was driving.
Yeah, no. Your weapon was technically the vehicle.
Fair enough. And does anybody else's? Because I mean,
I will say you could have grabbed the longbow because you gave a flaming longbow to Ichi.
But I was also using my longbow in the back of the car.
Well, yes, so that's yours is still on fire.
So
it's just that Dante's sword.
So
you should do an additional D6.
Okay, so there's an additional D6, which was the fire. That's the 6, and the 4 is the swarm.
Okay, so what was the first bit? Sorry.
So it's 9 piercing, then 6 additional from the fire, and then another 4 from the swarm, piercing damage from the swarm.
Okay, you can almost see it swiping at the swarm as they're tearing through bits of it.
Okay, I'm then going to use my bonus action. Oh god, what have I got left? Actually, this is a point. Have I got any left? I'm going to cast Ensnaring Strike as a bonus action.
Okay.
And then I'm going to take my second shot.
Okay, go for it.
Did that roll? Did that not roll? Oh, sorry, it rolled twice. The first one, that's a 26 to hit.
Nice.
No, 25 to hit at disadvantage.
Okay, yeah, definitely hits.
So that's another. That's 11 piercing.
The fire's still on, but the swarm won't be on this time, yeah?
No, and the fire is 4.
Okay, and it needs to make a strength, is it?
For ensnaring strike. Sorry, yes, I think it is, but let me double check. So it is a strength saving throw.
Okay, so 14.
It's 15.
Okay, so you see that you sort of see the arrow hit, and again, it's hard to tell like damage or what effectiveness at this distance, but you do see the sprouting of thorns that wrap up the creature. And Dante, give me an intelligence, please, as it screams out upwards.
Yeah, 24.
Okay.
And that one then takes damage at the start of each of his turns while he's
On the
restrained.
start of his turn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, noted.
I got that from an intelligence. Oh,
That's
20.
what it screamed out. Garbled. You're again not perfect. It's almost like trying to understand Spanish if you speak French or whatever, but it is you can get bits of it. There are words that are similar.
The way with that being said,
I'll say because you got that, give me an insight. But next is
it's gonna be rubbish. That couldn't have been more rubbish.
Okay, so no, it sounded like aggressive, like in a reaction to being tied up almost.
One thing I just wanted to clarify: the word "us" is that common in these kind of creatures? Do they say "us"?
Yeah, I think you would think they're talking about the plural, the fact there's multiple of them.
Okay.
You would see Tabitha moves up and 5, 10, 15, and extends a hand, and you hear a loud thunderclap as she casts Thunderwave. However, the damage seems effective as there are bits blown away, and again it roars, but the creature isn't pushed back. As in the vehicle, the rider finally finishes tinkering, and you hear the engine hum into life as they are unable to move this turn, but seem to have fixed as they're like, Tabitha, get on! Any of you that can hold on, grab on quick! As they start to like strap themselves in. This
was this the vehicle they wanted?
No.
No, the one they wanted is the one that got flipped.
Yeah,
and got exploded. It's currently being eaten.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was the other black one, Liam.
Nope. Black one is the desert hopper. Sand. Oh, sorry, no, yeah, sandstorm's way down here at the bottom. It crashed.
Sandstorm's at the bottom. The one at the pink, the orange one's a different one.
Yeah. Sorry. Orange one is the Wayfinder.
Yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, you're right. My apologies. Thank you. So you would see that this guy, who was the rider. My apologies. Then it wasn't the water ganassi that the earth elemental had picked up earlier. It was the human rider of the Wayfinder. This one down here is the water elemental ganassi, who seems pretty injured and starts limping towards. You would see that they almost like just grab on to the front plate and are just like trying to get themselves secure, as this was, if you remember, the Azure Flyer was like 2 seats rather than an open deck back. And you would see this guy as well. And again, Dante, even at this distance, as he's pushing past, this guy looks pissed and is like trying to grab onto him as he's pushing past and moving to sort of get on the back of this the vehicle. After which, Volu.
Blow up the car.
I'm nowhere near. I don't think I can even get on the map. I don't think I can even get on the map. I don't think I can even get on the map. I don't think I can even get on the map. I don't think I can even get on the map. I don't think I can even get on the map. I don't think I can even get on the map. I don't think I can even get on the map. I don't think I can even get on the map. I don't think I can even get on the map. I don't think I can even get on the map. I don't think I can even get on the map. I don't think I can even get on the map. I don't think I can even get on the map. I don't think I can even get on the map. I don't think I can even get on the map. I don't think I can even get on the map. I don't think I can even get on the map. I don't think I can even get on the map. I don't think I can even get on the map. I don't think I can even get on the map. I don't think I can even get on the map. I don't think I can even get on the map. I don't think I can even get on the map. I don't think I can even get on the map. I don't think I can even get on the map. I don't think I can even get on the map. I don't think I can even get on the map. I don't think I can even get on the map. I don't think I can even get on the map. I don't think I can even get on the map.
No, you can't. Well, actually, no, you can for like if you
With
do
a double
move
move.
and action.
I'm saying I'm
Yep.
pretty sure all I can do is a double move to say like appear.
And then a bonus
Yeah.
action of some kind.
I need to get a lift from Eleni.
30 feet off here. How do I add myself again?
You drag yourself from the journal. You can sort of get
Ichi,
hold of
you're
your
up
name
next.
and pull it on.
And Dante, you'll be after each as we come back around to the
Yeah.
top.
Bonus actions. Oh, there's no bonus actions I can really do. Yeah, I just getting closer. I kind of shout toward Ichi like, the card's moving, so go.
Okay, Ichi.
We're gonna get this going. I will use my action to cast see invisibility on myself.
Okay. As your eyes glow.
Yeah, there's a moment where like the iris of the plate mail kind of like shines for a moment, and then this just pulse of energy just woofs up my neck into my eyes, and then it's just the fade. The light clarifies, and then Ichi just guns it forwards.
Okay,
with
so
a very full sense of confidence. There's a moment where Ichi floors it, realizes they've missed the pedal, and then actually floors it.
So luckily enough, starting the vehicle not too hard as you put your foot down, bursting the first 45 forwards and attempting the jump, which will require a check. So it is a unproficient dex check.
Do I get advantage because Dante warned me about the kickback of the vehicle?
No.
Damn.
Worth a go.
It was worth a
Always
go.
worth
Worth
a
a
go.
go.
He has also, to be clear, he'll have pointed out to you the handle that activates the jumps
the jump.
that you can use that are more that this is obviously a ramp as you looked at this before, but if you need to jump or want to use the jump, you know where that lever is.
An unproficient strength check, yes?
Dex, but yes.
Dex. Oh, okay.
This was the thing. Your dex is rubbish.
Yeah. That is going to be a 12.
Okay, so you take off and it almost like pulling to the side and the left as you pull
I forget
on.
that it was Dex. Oh.
Luckily, in the center, as you make the 20 foot and
Imagine
just
immediately she just misses.
straight off, landing yourself on this strange invisible track. What you do notice is as the Zikars sort of float above, the invisible track almost like reacts with the Zikar, so there's almost like a glowing pulse underneath your vehicle as it along the track. You don't have a bonus action boost in this vehicle, so that is as far as you can get for now. Anything with the bonus action?
I don't believe so. No, there's
And
nothing
do you want
really.
the elk to come along? Can't go down.
I'm gonna telepathically command the elk to slowly make its way down, because like if worse comes to worse, if it can help like Volu like get out of there kind of thing.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna say it's gonna take it like 11 rounds.
Mm.
And that's being generous, but
Would it not be better going with you in case you need it?
It's we'll have it ride it, like it will just be running alongside me.
Okay.
Just in case something terrible happens.
No worries.
Oh,
okay.
Dear. Yeah, that's my turn.
Back to the top with Dante.
Dante will move again. So what was the one that that's been tangled up?
This one in the middle of the water.
One in the river.
Cool. So Dante will take his full action. Can someone do me 60 feet, please, from where I am towards it?
You see that?
Yep. Thank you very much. And he will shout. He will shout out again in primordial. We We free you. Why you attack? Trying to make it in basic like words as possible.
Okay. Okay, you would see that the one that is tangled up doesn't seem to take notice of you as it turns and says something at the other one that you miss. It's not like, because it's not shouting it, if that makes, you know what I mean? It says it to its friend who is finished eating the zikar and sort of moving, and as you speak it looks, and it again, for the rest of you, what sounds like rocks in a garbage disposal noise comes out of this creature. Anything else from Dante?
What do you mean I can't respond?
I mean, you can try.
And can you just like this is Chris asking then. Did you say that it looked like they were like rummaging through people's stuff?
From what you know, obviously, like gems and precious metals is their main food source. It looks like they're searching for something to eat a little, but also that doesn't quite compute with what they're screaming at you.
I am going to and you guys just heard a garbled loads of like noise coming from Dante again, shouting out to the one that rubbled stone at me.
Okay, so the one that, as we come to the Xorn's turn, the one that is currently captured is going to attempt to break out.
Okay.
So what is that from? What do they need to do? Is it a
Sorry.
strength check the second
Well,
time rather than save?
he needs to take damage first.
Oh, true. Start
So
his turn.
he takes a 1d6, so I'll roll that. Takes a d6 of piercing, so that's another 4 piercing damage. And then, yeah, it's a strength check against my spell save.
Liam,
Oh,
do
yeah.
they have? I mean, as hard as it is to like read a rock, but do they look malnourished?
On your next turn, I'll allow another insight. I was thinking about it, but for the failed one previously, I'm going to say it's
Okay, no worries.
only a 14 again. So again, it's just
Yeah.
struggling and trying to get out, but it doesn't seem to be able to. That fully restrains it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's all it can do. It can't really do anything else. So as it's struggling and scraping to get out, again, the noise of crunching rock and crumbling bits of earth. So that's what Dante, you hear from the one in the middle, not at you, just almost like if you imagine, like as it's trying to get out, it's saying like, and it's like, we'll say it's we'll say next turn. This one sinks in to the ground. And re-emerges up on the edge there as it over and starts moving quite quickly away. As we get to Goro's crew. So you would see this one, Dante. turns and starts running this way. 5, 10, 30, and we'll do it again. Not directly up to them. Probably this way. Actually, no, they were sort of coming up next to them. And you would see the Goro's crew, while still firing off the occasional shot at the zone, seem to be moving further back towards the northern edge. Although Dante, you can't see if there's not like an obvious there's a crack or a cave or something there, but they're definitely moving deeper into the stalagmites. As we then come to Eleni.
Okay. I'm going to move 30 feet. Which doesn't help a huge amount, but... Okay. So I'm going to shoot at the guy who's restrained. Does that cancel out the disadvantage?
Yeah, it makes a flat roll.
Okay. So I'm going to shoot at him again.
Okay.
23.
Nice.
Yes. Easy hit.
Can I use a reaction? Well,
Yeah.
technically this isn't a reaction. I think it might be a free thing, but I didn't know if I could do it out of turn or not.
What are you thinking?
I want to turn off my Crimson Right.
Is it free to turn it off? I don't think you could turn it off.
Yeah,
I thought it just lasted.
Crimson Right,
I thought you could shoot it.
so a bonus action, you can activate a weapon.
Continue anyway. Just roll anyway, Mum, and I'll figure it out.
Do I still do D6 fire damage if he's switching?
Yeah. Just roll. We'll just roll it anyway, and I can minus it if he decides to.
Right last until you finish a short or long rest and other creatures. Bollocks.
You said that before,
this.
though, didn't you?
Yeah, I read this. You because this is why when you guys were still like when you were hugging in the tavern, your sword was just on the floor in flames, and you couldn't turn it off.
I knew. Remember that part, but I for some reason thought I could turn off. Bollocks. Okay.
So that's 4 piercing, 5 fire.
Okay. Anything additional?
And yeah, I want to use my gathered swarm again, but this time I want to move myself another 5 feet.
Okay.
And the swarm is around me now, so it gives me a little bit of cover as well, Liam, when it's pushing me forward.
Okay, nice.
As the arrow shoots past and hits him, hits the thing, Dante's just going to turn around and just go, "No, leave them alone. They're not attacking."
Really?
I don't know how much you're going to let that conversation.
Eleni, are you doing your second shot?
Well, what the fuck are we doing then? Leave them alone.
Dante echoes that.
Okay, you know what? I've got a smoke bomb. Can I attach it to an arrow and aim the arrow not to hit him, but in that general area?
Yeah. Do you want it to go left side of him or right side of him? Are you putting it in between him and the drivers, basically?
Yeah, I want to sort of drop it sort of here. Actually, I want to try and get it right in the middle here where Tabitha is and the creature and sort of that. So...
Yeah, okay.
24.
Let me make sure.
So was that a 10-foot thing, was it, of the smoke?
So
I want to try and put it in between him and Tabitha to sort of just fog that area up.
So I'm going to say, so it is, because where you're aiming is disadvantaged. Yeah. But what I'm going to say is it lands short. So it smokes him, but doesn't smoke the drivers, if that makes sense. So it sort of lands the south side of him.
Okay.
So you will get
damn.
A little smoke ring.
I think I was hoping I could stop her from being able to attack him as well while we work out what's going on. But
Yeah,
no,
unfortunately, just a little bit off
Yeah.
on the shot. As that area does fill with smoke.
That's me.
Anything else? Okay. You you can hear again the human that seems to be driving the Azure Flyer is now fully strapped in and just screaming like, "Tabitha, get the fuck on, or we're going!" You can see that they're holding. This guy fully gets on and sort of looks like he's going to like sit in Tabitha's seat, but also sort of pauses. And you can see Tabitha sort of looking and like, "You might need cover." I'm gonna. Yeah, I think so. You would see that Tabitha's just like, "They might come after you. Just go." And this vehicle is going to take off. So they jump forwards. Let me just put him on the back of it as well. Was they 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. You sort of see like almost a few confused looks as they see you running back the other way. The water, like not like splashing from contact, but almost just the force of the engine as it rips and starts to move past you. But that is they're not like you would see potentially a little bit because of the person on the front. They're not full boosting, and already the person that's on the front is like as it through.
Is the person on the back? Like
he is climbing into the seat. He is one of the hobgoblins that was riding the trident.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's in fully black armor, leather armor. They were the ones using bombs and stuff. And they seem to be on.
Dante really just wants to call out and be like, "Stop that car." Nobody knows any different.
Okay, so Dante, you would now hear further over this side, just sort of stumbling into view.
And I'm zoomed in, so over
just further on this side. You see this ping here, sorry?
Yeah, there's
Left side.
the desert hopper
left
is,
side. Okay.
or the
Near the desert hopper. You can see that the gnome that was on the desert hopper. No, was it the gnome?
So it's not
No,
Barter,
no.
it's the other guy.
Not Barter, it's the driver.
Yeah.
I don't have it on this. Sorry, annoying. But the driver of the desert hopper is currently like holding their head, and they look beaten. If you remember, the desert hopper didn't explode, but it did crash. But they're like, Barter, where are you, mate? It's all going to shit. Where are you? And they're like, they seem like almost dazed and confused as they're just like stumbling out of the wreckage of their vehicle. As we then come to Volu.
How much can the thingy move in one go?
So you know that they can do 150, but without them doing full boost, probably 100. So providing nothing happens to them, they could be out of here.
I'm going to move 25 feet this way.
Okay. Volu's got plans.
Volu's running away.
I have no idea what's going on, but this is going to be hilarious.
And I'm going to scream, "Wait!"
Got a class command, or
No.
Just hoping they stop holding any actions.
Yeah, I'll hold an action. Yeah, I'll hold an action.
What are you holding to do?
To blind them.
Okay, so the way holding an action works, sorry, I don't realize we've never
That's
really
what
explained
I
it.
thought. I thought it couldn't. I thought you couldn't
No,
do
so
that.
to
That's what I was
hold,
saying.
you can hold an action, but what you have to do for me is specify the action you're holding and
Yeah.
specify the trigger that will trigger the action. So, for example, you might say, "I'm going to blind them if they keep running into me." That is a valid
If they
hold.
get within
Or
20 feet,
if they
I'm
get
gonna.
within five, yeah, you
It's,
can
yeah.
say if they're
So-
not going to stop, you could specify. But also to be clear, if what you stated doesn't happen, you can't activate your thing. So, for example, if you said when they pass me and then they veer and crash into the ceiling up at the top,
That's fine.
It
Yeah.
never triggers. It never triggers.
You
You know
will
what I
also
mean?
lose
You lose the
whatever
spell
your. So if it's
And
a
you
spell,
lose spells. So if they
Yeah.
don't trigger it, the spell still burns.
It's like you still set it
Yeah.
off.
You're
I'm
in the
not-
process of casting it, and then because you never fully release it, the magic
Mm.
dwindles, and you actually lose the spell slot.
with the turn order, actually, it's not even worth it because I'm straight after them anyway. So if they're going to get past me, they're gonna be within.
Yeah, it should be pretty close.
Going to be within range for it anyway, which is what I was thinking before holding an action anyway. So yeah, I'm just kind of like give myself like a little, like let's say, as I'm standing in front of this vehicle that's hurtling towards me.
Okay. As we come to Ichi.
We're going.
Okay, so you drive forward, and running forwards another 90 feet as you zoom down the track. You come to the first turn, and you manage actually, as being able to see this turn, it isn't too complicated. You almost just tilt a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left. But as you're coming back in, you suddenly realize that there is the vehicle starts to like, and they've almost built little speed bumps that as like if you imagine there's this one small speed bump, but your back Zikar touches it, your back just kicks up. So you're almost in one of those like the vehicles that like bounce and as you go along. Can you give me a strength save to
Yes, I can.
keep yourself
This is
steady
properly
and on?
evil. It's invisible and the speed bumps. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's against the council code.
I think so.
You know what?
Yeah.
That it's pretty decent. That is a 18 plus 6, so 24.
Okay, so you just fix in rooting yourself as the whole vehicle around you shudders. You keep your arms steady and manage to keep you not veer off course as you're pulling down that section.
Beautiful. Again,
So that
nothing for
is-
bonus action. So
you are maybe a quarter of the way down that strip.
Brilliant.
okay. We're getting there.
Um,
Quick little look back as like Volu was yelling up at me, being like, "They're coming!" Like any progression towards that, like they've got to go all the way up the zigzag if they're coming this way.
Oh,
yeah. They've got an entire section to get.
Yeah.
through.
It's like 10 rounds.
You
for
never
them.
know.
You
never know.
Suddenly there's
You
a guy
never
right
know.
behind him, like, bitch.
Yeah, you've only got to worry if Ichi crashes or
How much of a fool is
Ichi,
this?
don't crash.
It's going down, but from where you are right now, it's still
Like, if I just
60
hard left.
60 foot down to the nearest rooftop.
Okay, all right, I'll survive it.
Yeah, it's not the worst.
Was it a Zikar crystal? I'll just levitate on top of
on the
the.
roof.
Like,
Okay,
I'm not going to go through a roof. I'm going to stop at the roof.
As we come back to the top of the round and to Dante, all of a sudden the cavern shudders, dust and stalactites crumbling down from the ceiling. No sign of any other things, but the whole, just every now and again, things rumble, dust. Bits of the magically crafted track sort of begin to break away and fall down behind you. As we come to Dante.
Is there any obvious reason for that? Like,
give me a perception, because it's not obvious.
11. I hate mine.
No, you're scanning for something big, something small, something that maybe could make that sort of. You're not seeing anything within this cavern that's currently giving you an inkling that.
I'm going to just yell out again, and just say, Just good. Oh, what do they say? This out of this world. Like kind of question. Like kind of just yell out to one of them. There is something that I'm gonna do. I'm hoping to get a response. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just doing 30 feet.
They're both screeching that.
Okay. Then I'm gonna just say, just shout to them, leave stuff and run. And I'm going to turn to Eleni and be like, drop your spell. They're running. Something much worse is coming.
Shit.
Okay, as we get to their turn, top of the round. Unless Eleni is free.
I was
I
going
haven't
to
done
say.
it.
Sorry, Dante, you've only moved.
So, I mean, to be honest, there's not much more that I can do, but I'm going to take my action to try to hide.
Okay, yeah, okay. Drop me a stealth check.
Will you allow me to drop the spell before my turn, Liam, or do I need to wait?
If you want to, I will allow it.
I mean, I'm going to give him a bit of a puzzled look, but yeah.
It's a concentration spell, so you just have to sort of stop.
Yeah, I'll just stop concentrating on the vines.
23.
Okay.
And I am going to just say, Leia, something's coming. Run or hide. And to be fair, actually, that I'm going to yell out to anybody who can hear. Got to say, like, they're running. Everybody run or hide.
All of a sudden, as Dante says this and dies behind a rock, both the Xorn into the ground, and you would see Tabitha's like, they're not running, and it looks, the earth is like digging up, pulsing towards her, but then it just sinks underneath her spot and continues past her. The one that's furthest away and most damage is like, they're now not surfacing, they are just in the earth, but they are almost surface level, so you're seeing the disturbance of rock as they burrow.
If I shout out now, then I'm going to lose my hide, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
And they're heading south, right? They're heading
away from the black hole.
Away from the big black hole. Okay.
As we come to Goro and his crew.
Cowards.
Yeah, I feel like the only good thing we've done right now is potentially save these things from dying. Like, but even then, they might have been able to escape themselves regardless.
Although we could spin it to Madame Oracle that we helped her guys escape as well.
Yeah, spinny.
Okay, so after which, Eleni?
Okay, very confused, but I'm going to do what Dante tells me to. Don't get used to it though. It's not going to happen very often. Okay. So I'm going to move and then action move.
Okay.
Actually, hang on, let me just check something. Sorry. I don't know if I've got any left. Where's it gone? Oh, okay. So yeah, so I'm going to move an action move and I'm going to bonus action hidden step to go invisible. But as I start to move, I'm going to turn around and look at Volu and just say, you need to hide. And I'm going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. I'm going to sort of go in there, Liam, in this sort of set of stalagmites. And then I'm going to go invisible.
Okay. Do you get any cover in the stalagmites?
Yes, if you start, there are not all of them, but there are some that are the range of heights.
Am
from
I all
head
right
height
there,
to...
or would I be better?
No, I'd say that's
sort of-
fine. Yeah, no,
Okay.
that's a good one. And obviously you're not trying to hide as such, but you've got invisible. So
I'm crouching down and I've gone invis.
yeah, it gives you cover, and you're invisible for now. Okay, the riders that are left. So again, you can see this guy is just sort of like wandering, like again, almost in shell shock, just like Barter, we need to go. As you see the rider of the Wayfinder rushes over, 5, 10, 20, 25, 30, just like I can't see him anywhere. Come on, mate, we need to get out of here. And he sort of pulls up and like gets hold of him, but it takes his whole turn to like get up there and get an arm around him. Tabitha is still like hand to the ground, like where the ground is moving, just ready to fire. They are just holding their action in case this is a surprise attack. But they are going to 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 25 this way. And they shout over to Dante like, what the fuck is going on? How do you know why are they running? You're not going to respond because you ain't giving away your position. As we come to Volu.
I've done more than
sorry,
enough.
The other riders. So they are, so one move pushes them forwards. They will swerve as they're coming towards you. Give me a straight persuasion.
Apart, I kind of want him to do a wisdom just to see if he's courage enough to.
You are muted.
Roll 20.
Oh, nice. Okay, so as they're getting close, you can hear that the person on the front's just like, look out! The person on the back's going, just fucking ignore him, we need to go. And as they're pulling up, they like skid to a halt here. Like, if you're getting on, get on now. We need to fucking get out of here.
Yes, I'll be like, you need to bring back up and save your friends ASAP. There is more coming. And then
okay.
And then it's my turn next, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So then I am got to do that. I'm going to give them a nod. And then I am going to... let me measure it first. Move and action move. Hopefully I should be able to be quite well hidden. You can go only little. Well, that was right, wasn't it? Yeah. And that's all I can do for my turn.
Okay, and Ichi, I assume, just still plowing on forwards. You can see as you straighten up, you gun down the next 100 as you're coming up to the next turn. You can now see that it's almost just a gradual incline down, and you're going to sort of like come into the plaza around, where the market space was, around where they were doing the weaving contest. You're almost going to finish out in that section, and you can see the banners and people almost like fireworks already firing off as the first car is in sight. You can hear that drum of the announcer through the thaumaturgy that's clearly they've seen you. And give me a perception.
I was going to say, can I do a perception check? Because as Ichi kind of like sees where the kind of finish line idea is going to be, Ichi's mind immediately goes to the events of the sewing competition. It's like, there may be a second sabotage. Perception. Oh, another 18, again +6, so 24. Ichi's head is on a swivel.
You can see most of the crowd, and as you're looking over, just like 30 foot above you, now coasting to keep speed with you, is like a brown hawk that familiar to what you've seen as the familiars that are tracking that seem to be coming down, and you hear the announce saying, "It's the chaotic embers," and people are like screaming and cheering as that they clearly can now are watching you through that hall. You can hear they seem to be missing riders, but the vehicle is intact as as they are coming down. As we come to the top of the round, the cave begins to shake and a deep rumble echoes through the cavern, causing stalactites to fall down from the ceiling, bits of earth crumbling, more of the magical bridge collapsing. As you look over, you're looking over to where a lot of you have the large crack that is where the hole in the wall almost of explosion. And as you are watching, further down, maybe 30 foot out of a small slither, a red glowing bubble starts to expand and expand and expand, and it grows 10, 15, almost like a bubble gum bubble on the verge of popping.
I'm guessing I've seen these from that vision or memory.
Looks similar, but looks different, right? So it doesn't look like a straight up like blister pustule that you've seen. And as you're like, it's just growing and growing, a figure steps out, almost becoming solid out of the amorphous form. You see a towering red and green golem carved from crystals. You can see bits of Zikar jutting out of it, but a mix of other gems and crystals. The entire right side of the golem is covered in glowing purple and red pustules, and the crystal along its arm almost seems a mix of solid gemstone and pulsing ooze. As it forms up and whips, you hear a noise like granite scraping along other stones, and it waves the almost liquid form arm around, and you see the little drips of substance. Some of it seems, however, to drip downwards to the floor, hissing as it hits the floor, while others drift upwards as if lighter than air or ash on the wind. And as you're looking, you can see the rest of its form is covered in intricate ancient markings and symbols. They are almost strangely placed, but almost give you that purposeful etched feel. Like it doesn't look like a chip. It looks like it's been carved all over the surface of the golem. However, it pulses with this unnatural, otherworldly purple red glow from the corruption that seems to be infecting it. As it turns, it looks around and spots the two riders that are currently stood in the center of the room. And its eyes, let me move them onto the map as well.
Big ball.
And its eyes glow with an intensity as it fully emerges and moves towards them. And that is where we are going to end part 1 of this episode. Thank you very much for watching. As always, thank you very much for playing. If you're enjoying the adventure so far, hit the like and subscribe and the notification bell so you know when the videos are coming out. And as always, roll well. Bye. This is the end of part 1. Part 2 airs Sunday 7 PM GMT, or will be linked in the top right of your screen now. Thank you for watching, and roll well.